Alright, so today we're going to be drawing apple blossoms, and then we're going to be using value to color them. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some papers, and you can use any tools pretty much. I would usually start with crayons or pencils, and then for color you can use anything you have on hand. So we're going to start by drawing our flowers and our leaves. I would make sure you have space for both, so I'm actually going to create a square on my paper. Whatever color you have on hand works. So like I might use a black or pink or blue to create my drawing, or I might start in pencil. I'm going to be doing crayon for you guys so you guys can see, since pencil does not show up on my video. Alright, so to do our flower I'm going to use the bigger space, and I'm going to start with a circle. So just like your O's in class, we're going to draw a little circle or a big circle. And I'm actually going to do a couple. So I have a couple different flowers. And then from there, you're just going to draw a U or an N. A big curve that comes off your flower center and makes the petal. And you'll just add more as you go around. This is something we've already practiced a little bit, but this time the important part is that when we're done, we're going to be adding a specific type of color mixing. So we're going to practice different techniques for making different colors. And your circles don't have to be perfect. Your flowers can be big or small. They can have round petals, or they can have oddly shaped ones, like I've got these ones with the funny little curves there. And you just want to fill up your space so you have a couple different flowers. Alright, so from there we're actually going to move over to this blank space that we left, and we're going to make some leaves for our flowers. We want these to be fairly big since they're going to be like leaves on the tree. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a teardrop-like shape. So we're going to start with the letter V. See, there's my letter V. And then we're going to make a big letter N on top. Woo! Whoops, and my crayon broke. And if that happens, that's fine. See, I've got my letter N and my letter V to make a leaf. And if we want to add details, we can add the veins. So maybe I'll draw a line down the middle with little veins coming off for the inside of the leaf. And then I'm going to draw a couple more leaves. So V, and then your lowercase n. V, lowercase n. V, lowercase n. Alright. Try not to waste your space on your paper. We can use it for other things, but we really want to use it for our leaves and flowers since those are our main focus. Alright, once you've got your space all filled up, next comes color. And how we're going to do color is we're going to focus on value this time. So that means we're going to mix colors with either white or black, a darker or lighter version, to make our colors lighter or darker. If you don't have paint, you can use your regular crayons or colored pencils and stuff to do this as well. But there's going to be a difference in how you mix. So, I'm going to grab my paints real quick. I'm going to pull those out so you guys can see them. So here are a couple of my paints. And the main colors you're going to want since we're doing apple blossoms, are probably going to be pink, or in this case, red, white, black, and green. Alright. Make sure you have water for your water cup, and that you have a paintbrush if you're doing paint. If you're not doing paint, you can skip this part, and I will show you how to color your flower using a dry material like our crayons. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure my water cup has water. There's my water so I can clean my brush. I'm going to make sure that I have a towel or paper towel for cleaning up. And I'm going to make sure that I don't have anything sitting on top of my painting. I'm shaking my camera. So you should have 4 colors that you really need. Your water cup, paintbrush, that, and then here we go. So I'm just going to pick one of my flowers to do in paint, as well as one of my leaves so I can show you guys. So you guys should have green. You should have red. You should have white. And you should have black. And if you don't have wet paint like I have here, I actually got this paint from the Dollar Tree. This is simple watercolor paints. And they come with all your main colors. They're not going to last very long, but they should get you through one or two projects. Alright, so what we're going to do with this is we are going to mix our main 2 colors, green and red, with our darker and light colors, white and black, to make different types of the colors. So we're going to start in the middle of our cherry blossoms. And if you actually look at a picture of a cherry blossom, like I will pull up right here, cherry blossoms are very light, and in some cases they're very dark in the center. So we are going to start off by painting one of our petals using our red. Paint the whole thing. I would do this fairly quickly, that way your paint doesn't dry. And there are actually 2 ways to make it lighter. That's mixing white or mixing with water. So I'm going to start with mixing with white. I have my whole flower petal painted red. So my next step, the outer edge of the flower is white or very light in color. So I'm going to take my white and I'm going to add it to the outside edge of my flower. And I'm going to mix it with the red so that it turns pink. See that? You can add a little bit more red if it gets too white as well. And then to make our color darker in the middle, we are going to add black. All right. So I'm going to get a little bit of black, and our black, you'll find out very quickly, is a lot stronger than our white is because it's a darker color. So we're only going to need a tiny bit of black. If you use a lot of black, you're not going to be able to see your red anymore. So we're just going to add a little tiny bit. We're going to mix it in to make it dark, or darker. And as you can see, my black is really overpowering the red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some more red in there so that it's a dark red and not just a black. All right? And that's how you're going to mix your wet paints. All right? So for mixing with water, if you want lighter colors, what you're going to do is, here's my second petal. For black, you'll do the same thing. You'll mix a little bit of black, but for the light, if you don't have white or you don't want to use white, this is a technique that some artists use, where they actually take water and they use their water to spread out their paint to make it a lot lighter. And you'll want to make sure you do this with clean water. That way their paint color turns out a little bit lighter. Right. So if you don't have paint, here's what you're going to do. Instead of using the paints, which you obviously don't have, you're going to pull out whatever dry tool you have. I have crayons. You might also have colored pencils. You're going to take those and you're going to start on the light side. And instead of pressing hard, you're going to press really, really soft as you can, to make a very soft color. And I'm actually not going to use pink. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this light color. I'm just going to press very, very soft. I recommend using red for this, maybe orange if you want a peachy color. You're pressing very soft. Like if you press against your hand, it should feel like a tickle. Alright? Once you get to the middle, you're going to press harder to get that pure color, the pure orangey or reddy color. Should be darker looking than the tip of your flower petal because you're pressing harder. And then for the darker area, we're going to still press hard. Then we're going to come in with our black or darker color. I don't have one right now, but that's okay. And we're going to press softly with our darker color. Remember, pressing softly, just like with our paint, we're not using a lot, otherwise it's going to be too strong. And we're going to darken up that center part so it looks like it's going inside. Alright? That's it for how to mix your colors. Now you're just going to go ahead, finish up all your flowers. I'm going to finish up one so you guys can see. And you're going to repeat this process on all of your flowers, creating light, medium, and then dark areas on each of your petals. And then we're going to cut them out. Alright. You can do a color in the center if you want. You could even do the same color, or if you want, like some people like to do, you can do yellow. I actually don't know a lot of flowers that have yellow centers, but that's okay, because it makes the yellow stand out, the center part stand out a little more. So your next step is to do your leaf. So I'm going to do one leaf. Just like I did, I'm going to do it dry colors because I prefer to work in dry materials since they dry easier and they don't distort the paper. I'm going to start light on the outside edge, so I'm pressing softly. So the outside edge is going to be the curvy part. Then I'm going to press hard in the middle and towards the bottom where the V is. I'm going to add a darker color on top to make it look darker at the bottom. Not so much. Alright. Your last step for this project, once you're all done coloring everything, and obviously I haven't finished, so I should probably start working on that first. Your last step is you're going to cut out your leaves and your flowers, and then you're going to assemble them together. And you can actually use the extra pieces of paper that you have when you cut out. I'll show you what I mean by that. Your extra pieces of paper, that would be all this white extra space, to create branches. A couple different ways to do that. You can crumple it up into a long stick and then glue your flowers on that. Or you could just leave it flat like we've done before when making branches. So I'm going to quickly cut out this petal. Notice I'm not cutting my petals off. I'm trying to keep them all together. I'm going around my flower, all the way around, following my outside line. And really, I should have waited for my paint to dry completely, but I wanted to show you this project all at once. So one of my petals, two of my petals are going to be a little wet. Notice I'm being very careful, making sure my scissors are pointing towards my paper. I'm not cutting my clothes or my hair, I'm cutting only my paper. So that, yes. And then our last part is we're going to glue them together. So you're going to get out your glue, which I have some somewhere. You're going to take your glue. If you have stick glue, that's awesome because this stuff is a lot easier to work with. It's a lot easier to clean up, especially if you accidentally use too much. Or your wet glue, if you have that. I would use your parents' help to get that, and then you're just going to rub your glue against where you want your leaf to stick or where you want your flowers to stick together. And you're going to put them together. All right, all done.